6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. Happy Figured Out Friday. And as you can see here, I have my Mickey Mouse ears on at the same time that I can't, as as John Hart said it the other day, we still have internet problems here in not only in Georgia, but we also still have them in North Carolina. So, happy Figured Out Friday to everybody. Good morning to y'all. Say good morning in the chat. Put TGIF in the chat. Put TGIF in the chat. Um, I got a special guest for us today. So when you see like three faces of me today, just know that I'm balancing between my main screen, being online, and I got to make sure the screen as this goes through. There I go. I'm back. I'm back. I got to change these wonderful Wi-Fi settings all the time. But I'm going to figure it out this weekend. That is my goal. Is I have one here. Here, I'm going to show you guys. I don't even make this stuff up. I put this thing as close as one could get to the computer. Like it's on top of my computer. So that way it's like, okay, you say that maybe there's something in the way of it. I'm putting it on top of the computer. So all hands on deck here on figuring out this internet. So good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to you. My name's Coach Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a DAD. And just so blessed to be able to have you all here. Fred he's down in the Bahamas, Costa Rica. I don't know where the hell the guy is. No, I do know where he is. I love how everybody comes from different parts of the country, different parts of time zones and everything. So thank you all so much for coming on here today. And let me just tell you all, you're in for a special treat today. Okay, not only put it inside my computer. I know, John. I literally should, but just like put a blanket around it, make him feel comfortable. So, Ramen is one of my previous coaching clients, and him and we've had some dark days. And I thought he would be a perfect fit because knowing what's going on in this real estate market, Jackie, one of my coaching clients, I was talking to her and I was asking her the question that we get often is like, how's the real estate market? It looks like the numbers are great. While the home prices continue to climb. To be honest with you, it sucks. There's just not a lot of inventory. There's not a lot of business being happened. The transaction count is low. We've been low for the last 3 years. We're expecting, 50% of real estate agents to leave in the next 3 years. AI is coming in. It's like all these negative things. Yet Raman continued to grow in his business. There were some times all that it was just tough sledding. And he's very humble, so he's not going to say this to you. But there were time periods all that he was just trying to figure out how he was going to pay his bills, how he was going to figure out how he was financially just going to get through the month. Now, if you're vulnerable, I'm 100% honest with you. There has been some times I had to figure out how I was going to pay things. Put a 5 in the chat if you've had to figure it out sometimes in your life that the bills keep coming up. There wasn't any income coming in. We weren't too sure how we were going to do Christmas. We weren't too sure how we were going to do the groceries, and we were just financially struggling. Put a 5 in the chat so that way Raman and I know that we have an audience here today that's been through some things in life. Happy birthday, Louie. And we've been through some things that are just financially challenged. I say to you that Raman comes into us today from being in that position to having a 6-figure income because he decided to continue to show up. So put a 10 in the chat for just giving him, just like fighting through to being on the show because I can tell you this last year, he would not want to be on this show here today, y'all. Okay, he would not want to be on here. Like, Brock, what the hell do you want me to tell them? That I got no money, my credit cards are maxed out? Is that what you want me to tell them? And sometimes we do, because there is light on the other side. And he's going to share with us his story today. And one of the coolest lines he just gave me. I said, you know what, Ramen, because I do a green room before we get on the show, and I said, Ramen, I go, you're just one of those people that just really showed up. And I said, I have a saying that, well, I don't have a saying. There's a saying that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And he said the greatest line to me. He goes, yeah, but you know what you did to me? He gave me salt. And I was like, ooh, that was really, really good. And so I want you, for those taking notes today, what's your salt? What is your salt? Because there's someone or something or your purpose that could be your salt. And so today, Raman is going to share a little bit about his salt and how he developed into the real estate agent that he has become and the process and the person he's growing into. So guys, put some hearts, put some fives in the chat to welcome our main man, Mr. Raman. Good morning, brother. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the invite, Brock. I appreciate you having me on. I'm extremely humbled to be on here. And, we've been through a lot of times, as you mentioned. You've gotten to see me in my most vulnerable states. So, being a single dad 6 days a week and um, having come into the real estate world 4 years ago from basketball coaching, no real estate knowledge whatsoever, no background from family, none of that. There was a lot of days where you, well, I'm a coach, so I don't think. I don't think there's giving up. I think if your back's against the wall, there's only one way to go, and it's forward. And so giving up's not really in my blood. Uh, a little background on me is I coached college women's basketball a lifetime ago, and I have trained basketball players the last 13 years from youth all the way to professionals. And um, I've had to coach every day of my coaching career with having muscular dystrophy. So physically, I can't demonstrate anything. At 22 years old, which is 19 years ago, I was given this wonderful blessing. And I'm not exaggerating that. Like, because everything in your life is either a blessing or a burden. But here's the beautiful thing, you get to choose which one it is. It doesn't define
Amen.
you, it can refine you. And so, muscular dystrophy was my second greatest blessing, my daughter being my first in this life, especially adulthood. And so it made me have to adapt. It made me, the first 9 years were rough. Collapsed every day. And when I fall, I don't fall forward, I don't fall backwards. It's straight down, no warning, close up like a suitcase. It's pretty painful, but
I would think so.
one thing that I've reflected on over the years of falls, like I fell last Friday, I think. But every fall is feedback, and that's the same in business. So we all know real estate's going to punch you in the mouth. Like it doesn't matter how high you get, it hits you in the mouth. And you're really unemployed until your next transaction. And focusing on what you focus on expands. So if you focus on the negative is what you're going to continue experiencing. If you focus on solutions and positivity and what you want to build with your business and how you're trying to um, what you're trying to achieve. Some of us are doing this part-time. Some of us are doing this like as our lifeline in order to succeed. I'm a single dad, so I have like this. I don't have to. I get to do real estate, which is beautiful. Like I don't have to be in a 9 to 5 where I just drop my daughter off at school and I'll pick her up from school later on, and that's to me one of the most important things. And so.
And
And
one of the things I will say to you, Raman, is, and I didn't mean to cut you off,
No, you're good because I'm
but
rambling.
but you inspire me. My parents inspire me, and the reason why I say that is because I don't have my kids 6 times a week. I am a single dad, but you're a single dad and you have to pick up your daughter majority of every, like, a lot more than I have to, from dropping her off for school and picking her up. And I only have to do it twice a week and it alternates on my weeks. And there are some days that I bitch about it because I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go get my kids and I got to go do this. And really what that is all is just an excuse. It's a reasoning for me to go down to like my little pity town victimhood. And you inspire me because I'm like, well, Ramen's doing it every freaking day. Like, what the hell am I bitching about? What am I complaining about? This guy is doing it every single day. And so I say that to everybody on here because I want you to lean into some of the things you just said, some of the key notes. I loved your line, every fall is a feedback. So here I am completely healthy and I got nothing to bitch about. I don't have my kids as many times as you have your kids, and I need to rise up. So if you all aren't like understanding, or if you have excuses that are marinating in your head, I want you to start to have a different perspective. That's one of the greatest things about going to the Philippines. It's giving me a different perspective. Is what this man is telling you is he took the every excuse under the sun that you possibly can have. I mean, how many excuses have you heard so far from Ramen? I have zero financial background. I don't have any real estate. Nobody in my family's done real estate. I have this disease, this challenging physical disease. Do you know how many times he would tell me I got to go to, he would go to basketball practice at 5 a.m., come back home, get his daughter ready, and then either go back to either training and practice to make some money, do real estate, get back home to pick up his daughter. And the key thing that I would tell you to write down right this moment is he kept showing up. He kept showing up. So I wanted just really to resonate with you, Raman, and to really elevate you that you're a humble guy. But for those that are listening in on here, there's over 40 of you on here this morning on this Figured Out Friday. And for those that watch the recording and go to our YouTube and our Facebook, that I want you to understand, like, you kept showing up no matter what excuses you want to put inside your head. So hats off to you, brother. I'll let you continue your story and I'll stop you when I hear something that really triggers me. But well done, man. Way to keep showing up and not just using it as excuses, but using it as feedback, using it as an opportunity. Because you said a great line. You said, I get to. Cullen on here says that all the time. I get to do that. So thank you for that. Continue on.
So when I first got into real estate 4 years ago, coming in from coaching, so in coaching, it's easy to identify what your purpose is, and mine is impact. Like that's my mission in life is impacting lives, and I live by four pillars: give hope, impact lives, be humble, and beat the odds. And it all kind of falls back into different experiences in my life, and I could
Can
go
you
into
say those one more time? Say those one more
give
time for
give
somebody's
hope,
sake.
impact lives, be humble, and beat the odds. So I live by those in every aspect of life. And I know there's people on here that I don't know if everybody on here is in real estate because this is a motivational podcast, but whatever field you're in, we all kind of deal with the same challenges. And um, there's storms we go through, and we don't know when those storms are going to come. We don't know how long they're going to last, but we do know this: they don't last forever. And when I first got into real estate, I wasn't happy. I didn't know what my purpose was. I was like, okay, I'm selling houses. Cool. It makes me more money than basketball. But mom, I'm not money driven. I am impact driven. How do I, like, when I'm long gone and this transaction's over, where was my impact with this person? And so I struggled with that early on because I was trying to learn the ins and outs of real estate verbiage. And that's, um, just a small piece of the business. It's connection. People want you to connect with them, treat them like humans, and guide them from point A to point B. So I learned meet people where they're at and guide them from point A to point B. And I started seeing that I can impact people through conversation, through not just selling them a home and being done with them. It was how I treated them. And um, you might be in a place in your business right now that you're like, man, it's the slow months. It's going to be hard to get business between now and Christmas. Yeah, it might be, absolutely. But you can plant seeds. Farmers don't plant seeds today and expect a crop tomorrow. They're going to plant seeds and know that eventually they're going to come up. And so what you're doing today will help you level up for 2026. And it's Brock asked me to talk about some key defining moments in my business and my life. Number one, I told you guys, muscular dystrophy. It was from day one at 22 years old, I said it was a blessing because it gave me a platform. Gave me a platform to be way beyond my vision of just coaching basketball. Like I can relate and talk to pretty much anybody about adversity and kind of it gives me empathy, it gives me resilience, it teaches me that emotions are information, they're not instruction. Like, yeah, it's frustrating when you fall. The other day, I fell in front of my brother-in-law and he was like, "Well, luckily it was just me, you get to save your dignity." I'm like, "Honestly, I don't care about my dignity because if I fall and someone judges me based off that, so be it." Like they don't know what's going on in my life and I don't need to explain to them what's going on in my life.
Mm,
Um, you
so
know,
good.
and so everybody's going through something, everybody's got their own storms and you've got to figure out what jacket to wear to get through each storm. And so the second defining moment for me was that have you guys ever heard the story of the coffee bean in by John Gordon?
Ramen, this is the fun part about being on the show. They love it when put a five in the chat if you read the coffee bean,
I've
put a
never done that
five in
part,
the chat.
Brock.
Yeah, yeah, it's real fun, man. You get to see
um,
everybody.
so it's,
Put a five. I love the coffee bean.
yeah,
That's a great book if you haven't gotten it.
absolutely. So in short, the story is this: when you put an egg in boiling water, it becomes hard, and when you put a carrot in boiling water, it softens. And then when you put a coffee bean in boiling water, it turns into coffee. And what the first two do, they allow their environment to change them. Oh, market's slow. Man, the prices are going up, interest rates are up, all this crap that we keep hearing on the news. Guess what? There's someone out there in their situation that they need to buy a house or need to sell a house because of their situation. They don't give a shit about the market. Sorry.
Yeah, you get raw and real here. Raw and real. That's how it is.
um, and so the first two, the environment changes the subject. The last one changes its environment. And we
Bro,
get
say
as
that
hard
again.
as it
Say that
is.
again. You got to say that again because it went over somebody's head. Somebody's just like, wait, what did he just say? So I want you to stop, lean in right this moment. All I want you to say that again because that is the most important. There's a lot of important things you're saying, but that right there, say it again. Say what that hot water does to those two things and then
The
to the
first,
coffee
the
bean.
first two, the egg and the carrot, they allow its environment to change them, while the coffee bean changes its environment.
That's good.
And we get to choose which one we are. So yeah, in the moment, like earlier, I told you guys, emotions are information, they're not instruction. I preach that to my daughter ever since she was little. She's 10 years old now, and unfortunately, she's got all this stuff in her head.
I hear you.
Poor kid, her counselor came up to me and was like, "What are you teaching her? Because she's teaching me stuff." And I was like, "Well, then it's working." So, but you get to choose if you're going to be the coffee bean. And in the moment, it might be difficult, but you can't connect the dots in life looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. And what you're going through today or what you might go through in a week, a few months from now, just remember that it's feedback and it's happening in your best interest. Everything is an opportunity to learn and grow. And you'll be able to connect the dots eventually. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be next year, it might be 10 years down the road that you get to connect the dots looking backwards. I didn't know at the time what muscular dystrophy was trying to teach me. I didn't know at the time, failing the real estate exam 3 times before passing the fourth, what it was trying to teach me. But those are, if you connect the dots looking backwards, it's persistence and resilience and so many other lessons that failing a real estate exam is even teaching me. And so, uh, I mean, I've been through divorce. Like, you name it, I've been through it. And I know someone out here is going through something way worse. And so that's why I've never looked at it as a burden. And where else do you want me to go with this, Brock? Because
No, no, you're good. There's another line that you said that I want people to emphasize on and look at. You says, "What jacket are you wearing?" Your jacket depends on the environment that you're in, and I really like that line that you bringing up a lot of great lines here this morning. What jacket are you wearing? I think Sandy, good morning, Sandy. Sandy said the emotions are information, not instruction. And so, as I share with you some of these key notes, and we got a couple more minutes here before we close with Ramen here, I want you to talk to us about. I hear more and more because the market is where it's at. When you were in those moments, when you and I were talking, and we would have our coaching, and I'd be like, "What's going on? How we doing?" And you'd be like, "It sucks. Like, I don't see another deal coming. I don't have anything in my pipeline. I have these crazy buyers that make me drive around all over the place, but they're not even close. They're trying to lowball. It's just nothing was making sense. Nothing was working. Nothing was happening in a way, and you had to borrow money just to keep yourself going. And I say that because I've been in those shoes too, and many of us have that we've had to borrow money just to keep moving forward. And in those moments, me personally, and then I'm going to ask you to tell me what you were thinking. Like, when I was borrowing money from my parents, from the bank, whatever it might be, just to survive, I kept saying to myself, at one point in my life, I know this, that if I stop where I'm at this very moment, I will always have to borrow money. But if I lean in and continue to show up each and every day, at one point, I will be able to help somebody borrow money from me. And that would fuel me. And that would be like, I want to help somebody else out who's in a financial position. But I got to keep moving forward because right now I can't. How did you propel yourself to continue to move forward for those that might be going through these deep and dark times right now? The financials, everything, the Christmas and the bills are piling up, and just the deals and them. Just what would you say to that person when you were in that moment?
um, you've got to figure out that what values you have and what's most important to you. To me, it's my daughter, and I don't want her to see that we've ever struggled. I want her to see it just to kind of see, hey, look, this we had to push through. Like nothing's given, it's all earned, and you have to show up even on days you don't feel like it. When you It's easy. That phone is heavy. It's easy to say, nah, I'm gonna go do laundry. It's easy. Oh, I've got to get these doctor's appointments, scheduled. I've got to get sports scheduled for my kids and blah, blah, blah. I just don't have any time. Well, everybody has the same amount of time every day. There's billionaires and then there's us that are struggling some. And so, but we all have the same amount of time. And what pushes me personally is my daughter. She's my best accountability partner, and I crossed paths with you a couple years ago when I first joined Real, and I just happened to come across you in Real Academy just this little course power players or something,
Yeah,
and then we connected and you resonated with me. And I'm a coach, I'm a trainer. Can kids go outside and practice basketball by themselves? Absolutely. But they come to a trainer because they need those fine-tuned details. They need someone to kind of guide them, and hold them accountable. And that's why I got real estate coaching, was because I knew I needed a coach to get me in the direction that I want to go. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not anywhere close to it, but I will keep showing up. I have more confidence in the world than I ever have. This talking on a Zoom to a bunch of people that I don't know, I wouldn't have done it a year ago, and I got on here. I agreed to this because my focus is impact. Can I impact people? And so if you're in a place where you are finding every excuse in the book to not pick up the phone or not show up, remember the people that you're procrastinating to call, they're humans and they need help and they're in a situation that they need you, and you could impact them, but it's up to you if you take that action.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. It doesn't seem possible already at 8:43. Guys, if Ramen resonated with you today, if he struck a chord to you, if he did something to you in your heart, maybe got goosebumps, made you reflect, made you think, you were like, damn, that's a really good quote. Any of those, I want you to put a five in the chat right now. I want you to put a five in the chat, put some hearts in the chat, because you don't understand when it comes time for people to come on here. They're sharing things that they normally don't share in a capacity of, like you said, like he doesn't. I mean, how many of you know Ramen? You don't know him, and he doesn't know you. But I loved his line: is his purpose is to make an impact. I don't know about you, but that really resonated with me. That, like, what is your purpose? Chad Freed talks about it all the time. What is your purpose? What do you get up for in the morning? What are you trying to do? And do you have more excuses than you have results at the end of the day? And ask yourself that, because you're the only one that can. And Raman, I asked you earlier, that it's okay that we put your information in here. And so, Grace, if you can, Raman said yes to put his information in here, his contact information, his Facebook, his phone number, his email. That if he resonated with you, I encourage you to reach out to him. Help
And just
him because he
text
wants an
first.
impact. You what?
Text first, because phone calls sometimes come in as potential spam, and I just don't answer those. But
Yeah, text Ramen first. Tell him you saw him on the show this morning, and you just want to say either thank you want to say I appreciate you want to say you made an impact on me. Can we do that in our family here today? Because that's what inspires people. We all need inspiration in some capacity, in some way. So I encourage you to do that. Without, as we conclude, Ramen, what's the last thing you want to leave us with today? What's the one thing you want to leave us with our family here before we go out on our Friday, on our weekend?
so real estate will test your mindset, but it'll also reward your growth. And this past week, I challenge all of you to do this after we get off this call. If you've never heard of the Japanese word Bushido, Bushido, it's the Japanese word for the code of conduct for samurai warriors. And I challenge you to do one for your business, for your life, and spiritually. And what I did, I went into ChatGPT and I literally said, "Hey, ask me questions. This is what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. And let's create a Bushido for each one." And those are values that you live by no matter what in your business, your life, and spiritually. So I challenge you to do that. And if you ever want to reach out to me, please feel free.
Man, that I love it. The very end, you give us a tactical thing. Could you actually type it in the chat for us, that word, so in that way people can
Absolutely, yeah.
Google and look it up? And I love how you brought in artificial intelligence, because that's my favorite friend. That's my best friend that helps me out, and I'm going to use that today. So, Raman, I appreciate you, brother. It's been a blessing. You have been a blessing in my life. You inspire me. You inspire others that are on here on the show here today. Guys, if you really want to listen in, or maybe you know somebody that needs to hear this show, Grace, if you can, make sure you put our my YouTube page up here so you can watch the recording. Also, we will put the show notes. Somebody asked some of his lines that he created. We'll put our show notes in here today. We'll put it in the Proxy Vans Mindset Facebook page on that. Guys, if you love this content and this moved you, this is what we do in Nashville. This is the type of stuff that happens in Nashville as we move the needle. And when you are even in closer rooms, when you're together, it will make an impact in your life, just like Ramen wants to make an impact in your life. But when you're together, it certainly does. So, Ramen, God bless you. Thank you for taking time to be here, dropping off your daughter early. I wish you nothing but blessings and Merry Christmas to you and your family, brother.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank y'all, everybody.
Guys, thank you all so much for being on the show. We'll be back Monday morning at 8:15 with our main man, Mr. Chad Free. I wish everybody has an amazing weekend. Tell somebody about the show. Come back to us 8:15 on Monday. You can watch the recording on all my channels, Facebook, YouTube, and all that fun stuff. If I can help you in any way, please feel free to reach out to me. Also reach out to Ramen and appreciate him on what he's done and the impact he made on your life. Till then, everybody, God bless you. See ya.
Have a blessed one, Brock. Very appreciate.